Hey guys, welcome to another live version of election prediction for 2016 with 270 to win. And I forgot to open something that I was going to use. In Magic Wall. I've been getting a lot of requests lately to do a video with demographics, with a video with poll averages, and some other suggestions that I've gotten to split my video up into some different categories. So I'm gonna kind of put that all together today, and this is why I did a live stream. On my pre-recorded videos, I have a limit of 15 minutes that I can do the videos with. So the problem with that is that I'm not going to be able to talk about everything I need to talk about in just 15 minutes. It's going to take just a little bit. So we're going to start off right now. It's 2:30 Central Time, my time. And I'll probably be done sometime a little after 3, probably. So starting right now, we're gonna look at what we're gonna go over in this video. We're gonna go over in deep detail demographics, because this election, a lot of people seem to be very invested in the demographics of this election, the electorate, and the turnout, demographic turnout in previous elections. So we're going to check that out in deep detail. After that, we're going to look at some new polls that will be very interesting to you and were interesting to me as well. National polls that still have one candidate ahead by a very wide margin. And we're also going to do some suggestions that I got on my last election prediction video. So let's get started now. We're going to start off by first off, screen sharing. See, we're going to have to go back and forth here. It's going to be difficult, so if you just bear with me, please. Okay, now I got it. Okay, so we're up on CNN Magic Wall right now, and you can see this is the Senate race. I don't want a Senate race. We're going to have to go back to 2012 for the presidential election. So here we go, 2012 presidential election between Obama and Romney. Of course, with being the first black president, of course, Obama got a very wide margin of the minority vote. So this is going to play a big role in the election. Since Obama's endorsed Clinton, since Obama's been the first black president, and Hillary's running for the first woman president, the minority turnout in some states are going to differ from other states. So starting out here in Oregon, I'm going to start Oregon here. We're going to go over some of the close demographics here, and we're going to start with the black population. So here's the black population here. The largest black population is around Portland, and that stretches all the way around here. Notice the biggest black population in the very populated areas, the urban areas, and Portland seems to be the highest. So the reason that this is important is because the minority vote in Oregon is probably not, I say not, going to turn out as well as the white population. So this is why I'm watching the state so closely. And many say that this state of Oregon would probably be safe Democrat this election. But the reason I'm concerned about that is because of the minority turnout. That they might not have an extremely good turnout in this election. And if you notice the Hispanic population, if anything is going to win the state for Hillary, it's going to be the small amount of black population and the Hispanic population. So you notice this is a very wide Hispanic population in Portland and even Salem. There's a high population there. So looking at that, this is the part of Oregon that Hillary is really going to have to work hard in if she wants to win the state from Trump, or else the white vote, the Caucasian vote, is really going to give the state to Trump. Because you can see the biggest population centers are back here, but that, even like I said, the minority vote, if that is low, you can count that this is going to be a state that is going to be very heavily in play this election. So going over to our 2016 election map, we're going to mark Oregon Right now, safe blue. Right now we're doing solid colors because I don't want to work with the consensus map. There's too many clicks, and I don't want the video to be that extremely long. So Oregon, 7 electoral votes. We're going to keep safe blue. Next election prediction, when I get a little bit more information on polling, and if she increases her polling amounts, Donald Trump goes and campaigns there by the next prediction video, then we may be able to turn it red, 7 electoral votes for the Republicans. But at the time being, we're going to keep Oregon blue right now. Moving back over here, we're going to stop the 3D mode, and we're going to go on to a new state. We're going to head right down to California. Now, here's the 2012 election. Here's what we noticed from the 2008 election to the 2012 election. I'm not going to pop up the 2008 election, but in the 2008 election, these blue counties out here were red. So we're really getting an increasingly amount of California that is starting to transition to a more blue. So something we're really going to have to watch here is the fact that we are transitioning to blue. I'm not saying that this is going to be Hillary's widest margin. Her widest margin will probably be DC or Maryland or one of those. But this is increasingly becoming a total blue state. I mean, there's a lot of counties. A lot of counties. You can see those little boxes there. Those are all counties. That is what I mean, just taking that in, if she won every state by 100% margin, then that would give her a solidly blue. I mean, it's in transition to a solid blue state. Most likely times, it's a likely blue state. I mean, because of the very high populations. But if you notice in 2012, this red state right here, Orange County, and Orange County really isn't that exciting. I mean, it's not in a major population center. But why I'm so concerned about this is the fact that Orange County gave Romney an actual good margin between Obama and Romney. So could San Diego go red? Could Los Angeles go red this election? I don't know. The only thing I know is that San Francisco and San Jose will remain solid blue this election, and that's what will probably put it over the top, to be completely honest with you. Looking at the unemployment rate from August 2014, you can see there's a very large unemployment rate in those traditional red counties that we had up. And that's not good for Clinton. That's not good for Secretary Clinton because it's going to be hard for her to. And in the primary election, you notice that Bernie Sanders would really win a lot of these dark green states because of his unemployment plan and an economy that works for everybody, not just those at the top. So, with that being said, Trump will probably turn out very well in these states just because Hillary hasn't had a very perfect push in terms of the primary election on how she does with creating jobs. People find her untrustworthy. TPP, California delegation was all over the place during the national convention. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in these unemployment states, whether or not they'll trust Hillary enough to go majority for her, or if just this less unemployment rate will go for Hillary Clinton. So moving on to the next demographic overlay that I'm gonna hear is senior citizens, and Hillary tends to do very good with senior citizens. This overlaps less of the unemployment rate. So right up here is where Hillary Clinton may do very good over Trump, is the northern portions of this, and some splotchy spots across the state where she may do very well with senior citizen voters. Because Donald Trump, of course, she has a whole bunch of attacks from senior citizens on Donald Trump. I mean, senior citizens in healthcare and Donald Trump marking the disabled and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a real dirty fight between the candidates there in California on behalf of creating jobs and senior citizens vote and population vote. It's just going to look weird. I don't know. And you can see here, this is the Hispanic population. Now in 2012, I have how do I put this? I have faith to believe that there was not a very high Hispanic turnout, partly because if you look at this, there is a very, very high Hispanic population in places that Romney won. And the fact that Romney would have won uh, a, a high Hispanic vote is just kind of just doesn't add up correctly. I mean, Barack Obama did very well on these borders, especially Los Angeles, where he won 70 to 28. And notice the Hispanic population on that. Guys, that's the Hispanic vote. If you go out here in Kern County, Romney won 57-40. And this is a state where you see it's a very high Hispanic population. Guys, the Hispanic population didn't turn out in that county. Los Angeles, that's another story. The Hispanics won California for Barack Obama. And the fact that there's an increasingly amount of illegal immigrants and immigrants coming into our country, more than likely, they're going to be moving to California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. One of those states, maybe even Nevada. That's what's going to appeal to Hillary Clinton in all of those states. All of these states is the Hispanic population. You think Los Angeles had 4 million Hispanics then? Imagine how many these orange states have now. I mean, after all, this has been 4 years. Imagine how much the population has just accumulated of Hispanics in one area across all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these states that are popular for Hispanic and minority populations. Moving on to the next demographic, the black population, it's not as high here as Hispanic populations. And that is, if you move over towards Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, you'll see a higher black population in Illinois or Wisconsin than you will in Nevada or California. Logical, because they're so close to the border. Here, notice 70-28 again. It's a conjunction between the blacks and the Hispanics that are going to win California for Clinton, really. With the demographic information, with the primary information, I have faith to believe that California will be safe blue. 55 electoral votes, 55 decisive electoral votes, and Trump would love to win those 55 electoral votes, because that would probably deliver him the election, but not this time. I'm not saying that one of these days, California hasn't went red since Abraham Lincoln, actually. Has it? Maybe it has. No, there's been Reagan. Reagan may have turned it red. Maybe the last time. There's a lot of states in this union that are blue. That last time they went red was Reagan. But I remember that California, before Reagan, the last time California went red was Abraham Lincoln. So this is excessively telling us that this is a safe blue state. Unless you get somebody like Reagan, which Donald Trump is nothing like Reagan. Reagan and Trump are different people. Reagan was a politician. I mean, you could arguably say they're alike because of their reality TV and movie careers and such before they were politicians. But in this case, it's not the same. It's not the same platform. It's not the same issues. It's just not the same. So with that being said, that's why I have faith to believe that California would probably go safe blue. Now moving down to Arizona here. Here's Arizona. This is going to be interesting, this election. Very interesting. And I'm focusing on the very hot spot in this election. 4 counties. 4 counties are this hot spot in the election. And I will keep a very close eye on these 4 counties. Those counties are Plano, Gla, I don't know how to say these. Like, I live in Illinois. Like, Yavapai and Maricopa. Those 4 counties right here, basically surrounding Phoenix, are going to be the hot spots this election. And are the reason Hillary Clinton is winning in the polls. Arguably, you may say, you're crazy, you're so biased, Arizona's going to go red. And I will get that in the comments after this video is done and posted. But I have faith to believe that Arizona has a very, very good chance of going blue this election. And many will agree with me. Many will agree with me. And I know that I take your suggestions down. Even the people who hate on the videos, I listen to your suggestions. I try to fix it every time. But this is why I have faith to believe that this will go blue this election. So the Hispanic population, this is as of 2014, which is quite a long time ago. But if you notice, the Hispanic population and these 2 counties was very low. Guys, since then, Phoenix has gained their Hispanic population by 30%, which means that this is probably out to here. Notice there's not many Hispanics in these 2 counties north of Phoenix in 2014. They have expanded their Hispanic population by, I believe, 40% is what I read in Gila County. I'm just going to call it Gila County. And up here in Yavapai County by 20%. So they really have gained their Hispanic population, which is why I have faith to believe that based on the demographics, based on the polls, Hillary has a shot. It's in play. I'm not saying Hillary's going to win it. I'm not saying Trump's going to win it. I'm not saying Johnson's going to win it. I'm saying it's in play for all 3 of the candidates. This state is in play. And it wasn't in play when the election first started because of the low. Because here's the thing about Arizona. Arizona is a quite small state. It doesn't have many counties. And you can see Romney only won it by, what, 10 percentage points? I mean, if you look at some other states, Texas, for example, we'll come back to Arizona. Texas, for example, Romney won this 57-41, which he won that more than he did Arizona. So, not by much more of a margin, but still, he won it more than Arizona. And Obama won D.C. like 85%, or maybe 90%. So Romney and McCain's low margins in the DC election for president. So if you think about it, there's not many counties here. It's not going to be hard to rack up a good vote in the southern part of it. And to be completely honest with you, since 2014, the population has shot up in Arizona as well. And with the background of this election, they attacked John McCain. Guys, John McCain is popular in Arizona, which this is a death wish on Trump's behalf because of the fact that 34 years John McCain has served in Arizona in elected offices. So this tells you, and that's just about more than Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, which he served about 33 or 34 years, tied with McCain just about, and he's still been reelected that entire time too. So if you think about it, John McCain is more popular in this state than Trump will ever be. John McCain was attacked on Trump for not being a war hero because he was captured. Okay, so this is why Trump, I believe, in my personal opinion, Trump will lose the state of Arizona, is because John McCain has a negative remarks on this guy. He doesn't like him. They don't like each other. There's bad blood between them both, and they won't speak to each other. John McCain won't endorse Trump because he's not a war hero in Trump's eyes. He likes people who weren't captured, Trump does. So, with that being said, guys, this entire southern part of Arizona arguably could go blue. All of these counties right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. And with that being, wait, 8 counties. 8 counties. In this 2012 election, Obama won 3 counties. Okay? Hillary needs to win 5 more counties, preferably in the southern part of the state, to win this state. It's not hard at all. If you noticed, in this election, these went red. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 went blue in California, which arguably you say, well, it's a Democratic state. It's easy for them to gain the state. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Those are die-hard Republican counties. 8 die-hard Republican counties that went blue in that election. It's not going to be hard for Hillary Clinton to rack up 5 counties in Arizona. She could go to Phoenix, 1 county, and win 54-44 like Romney did, and win Arizona. So a lot of people are not going to respect my opinion for this. But guys, Arizona is in play. The polls have it. The demographics have it. The electorate has it. There's background behind it. Trump is not popular in that state. Arizona, 11 electoral votes will probably go for Hillary Clinton. Let's look at reality here. It's not what Trump. It's not even what he says. It's what he's done. They're very. I'm not going to say the issue on economy's the most popular in that state, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they do, because Trump does not say stuff they like. I mean, about their Senator John McCain, no. It's unacceptable in their eyes. It's going to be unacceptable at the election, too. There's states, Illinois, for example, the state I live in. There's nothing Trump can say that makes what he says unacceptable. He couldn't get into Illinois in the primaries, for gosh sakes. Chicago is going to put Illinois over the top, but we'll get to that soon. Okay, moving on to the next state, Utah. In 2012, Utah, every county in Utah went to the Republicans, which is explanatory. I mean, there's a very low black population there. The minority population delivered the state for Romney, delivered the state for McCain in 2008. So, this election, there's a poll released that has Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump tied. Now, there's a third option, and they were tied maybe 43-43, and Johnson was winning by 1 point. Gary Johnson, a libertarian, was winning by 1 point in this state. And here's what I have to say about that. In 92 election, it was the election versus Clinton, Perot, and Bush 41. In that election, there was Perot. And arguably, Perot's the reason Bush 41 didn't get a second term in office. Could this be the case again? Now Perot was independent, and the fact that an independent, not Republican, not Democrat, would take so many votes, he has an equal amount of Democratic and Republican views, but he took so many Republicans that it was a blowout for Clinton. And the fact that Gary Johnson even leans more conservative is going to make a major impact like Perot did. Perot had an equal amount of Democratic-Republican issues and still blew the election for George Bush 41. Johnson has a lot more conservative views. Imagine what that would have done to George Bush. 41, back when Clinton, Perot, and Bush ran. Think about it. So it's going to be Clinton, Johnson, Trump, and we're going to think back to Clinton, Perot, Bush. Interesting. Could this deliver the state for Hillary Clinton? A Republican state for years delivered for Hillary Clinton. Just look at this right here. This county, 91 to 8% for Romney. Third party didn't win this, though. In this election, third party really didn't affect either candidate, but this is something. And it seems unrealistic at this point. It seems fictional, almost like a fairy tale, that we could turn an 8% to 91% to a win for a Democrat. But there's a third-party candidate in this election, and he is turning out well in this state. And the fact that the establishment media and the media would never admit that a third party won a state. So if that's the case, if he is in fact taking votes away from Trump, Utah would go probably pretty safely to the Democrats. But we're going to stick with Republican for this election prediction, and we're going to get more information on it. We're going to get to some more polling, and we're going to just keep up on that, keep tabs on that, and talk just a little bit more in detail each election prediction on that state. Moving on, we're going to go national here for a second because I'm going to kind of skip around the map now here. We're going to go to Iowa, and Donald Trump's holding a campaign event in Des Moines today. I don't know how much protest is going to be on that, but if anybody saw his campaign in Cedar Rapids or Davenport, Iowa, a week or so ago, there was so much protest against him. Nobody likes him in Iowa, really. He didn't have a very good turnout in his speeches either, which isn't good for him. I have very, very high confidence that Iowa will go blue because of Obama and the minority turnout in Des Moines and Davenport, and there's just so many less Republicans, and it just can't work out. The electorate is not in Trump's favor in that state. Plus, it's 6 electoral votes, and there's just so many more Democrats. So many more Democrats. That should tell people something. That should raise a light bulb that the electorate just isn't in Trump's favor in that state. And I'm not going to spend time on the demographics because everybody knows the demographics in the state. It's a simple state. It's small. The black population is high. The minority population is medium. There's a higher black population in the state, whether you like it or not. And that is what's going to deliver the state for Clinton. I don't even have to prove it. You go search it online. It's pretty self-explanatory. Moving into Illinois, that's a no-brainer. Everybody, even Republicans, will agree with me that this state is going blue. Chicago, Cook County, always 74.25% for Obama. Back in this is the county I live in, Knox County, Illinois, and 58.40%. 58 for Obama to Romney's 40%. That's actually, I just noticed that's actually pretty close to the actual statewide margin. But of course, we all know I don't even have to show demographics to know that this will go blue. So I'm not going to spend the election time on this, just so I can get this done and over with. So moving on, I'm going to start doing just a little bit of just kind of random chicken feed stuff on here, just a little bit, and we're going to start in South Dakota. South Dakota is known apparently for how loyal they are to their guns. They like their guns. It's gonna go red. It's gonna go red. because of the guns, and I don't have my own little mind transcript on it yet, but it's gonna go red. It is. South Dakota will go red. And the mark in the states that are even no-brainers, like Illinois, we don't even have to think about those. Those are going red. And here's the thing. I'm gonna skip down here because this is really interesting. Georgia, a poll was released today that has them tied. Average poll has them tied. Right there. It's right there for you. And there was a poll that had Hillary leading by 4 points. Honestly, I have no clue what to do. I have no clue what to do for Georgia. If you watch other election prediction videos, you'll notice, I think it's Read Only PDF. His channel is really good, and he knows a lot about the election. He does. And he's been telling me that he's from Georgia. So somebody that's from Georgia is telling you that Georgia is probably in the midst of transitioning to blue, but won't this election. It's overwhelming. It really is. Like, I have no clue what to think about Georgia. I mean, I have so many people telling me that it won't go blue. I have so many polls telling me that it's going to go blue. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to fill in Georgia in this election. I really am not. Same with Mississippi. I have had people to, but see, I have none logical transcript to explain those states. I can tell you, however, I probably cannot fill in Florida in this election prediction either. Any of these 3 states. Those are just beyond hard. And I can tell you that South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana will be safe for the Republicans. And West Virginia as well. But I can't tell you what 1, 2, 3, 4 states, North Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida, are going to be safe. I can tell you that Virginia, because of Tim Kaine, is probably going to be in favor of Clinton. Missouri, sweet old Missouri. Here's the thing. This is in the process of transitioning to blue. It'll be blue in 2020 or 2024, I promise you. It's not going to go red this election, or blue this election. It's going to go red 2020 or 2024, count on it, not 2016. Okay, so Missouri red this election. Now we get into the wonderful Rust Belt where the jobs and the TPP sabotage both candidates equally. What are they going to do up there? Exactly what they think they're going to do. They're going to go with the plan that they think will work best. Hillary Clinton just recently came out with a plan on taxing jobs that leave the United States, and she would use that money to invest in creating jobs. I'm not going to explain it to you. It's on your Twitter. It's on her Twitter. So you'll have to look at that closely. Sorry about that. So where was I? I have no clue. See, this election has gotten out of control. And people saying debates will decide the election, people saying debates won't decide the election, but oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to show you something in the Rust Belt. And I was talking, if you go to Hillary Clinton's Twitter, you can see her whole out plan. There's a video on it. You might have to scroll down a ways, but you'll find it. They're going to like that. The Rust Belt is going to love that. With that being said, I have faith to believe that all of these states, and you don't even need demographics, will go blue. And in past election predictions, I've insisted that Ohio would go red, and it's killing me. that I turned it blue. But I have to go with what is going on in the election right now. Not my personal opinion. And it's killing me that I turned that state blue. It's killing me. Because I really do not think that's going to go blue. But for the sake of what's going on right now in the election, and for the sake of the polls, and for the sake of the issues, and it looks favorably blue. It really does. Now, New York is a no-brainer. Trump has super PACs in New York trying to win the state for him. I don't think that's going to do much. It's just, I mean, she was senator there, and she does her home state. It's not going to be his love fest that he thinks it's going to be. Now, Maine. Here's the thing. Many say that the one electoral vote in the southern part of the state, or this part of the state, will go for the Republicans. I have faith to believe that's incorrect, because Donald Trump is not liked any more up there than he is in Arizona. It's the honest to God truth. Okay, so as you know, there was one person who retracted their endorsement from Trump, and that was John McCain, after he was called a not war hero by Donald Trump. That was kind of rude. And this is interesting. Okay, Maine for the Democrats, and for all 4 electoral votes for the Democrats. I don't know what to think. So here's the thing. Maine, and a lot of people are probably screaming at this screen right now, like, you're stupid. Oh, stop it. Maine won't go all 4 for Democrats. This is why I have faith to believe that it will. For the sake of the fact that Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton, if Bernie Sanders has anything to say about Hillary Clinton in Maine, which, as you know, 71% of his supporters have already endorsed her, or are supporting her, if he has anything to say on those independent voters up there in Maine, that all 4 electoral votes are going blue. And same in New Hampshire. All 4 for Hillary Clinton. That's what I think is going to happen. It's a radical statement at the time, but once we get close to the election, you'll realize that Bernie Sanders does more campaigns than Tim Kaine, and Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. I honestly think, I'm going to skip down here to North Carolina real quick, that Obama will deliver North Carolina for Clinton. I really do think that. It's close in margin. It's the margin of error, but I think that Barack Obama will deliver the state for Clinton. Because he did fairly well in North Carolina, exceptionally well. But I think he's going to deliver the state. Now going up here, back to the states that are pretty logical. Now these 3 states here. Once again, Washington pretty much mimics Oregon. It really does. Think about it real hard. It mimics Oregon. The largest population center goes blue, and that's up in the northwest corner of the state. It's not very hard for Trump to flip, but Clinton will probably keep it. It's just his tone this election. It's just not right. It's not right for them. It's not right for us here in Illinois. It's not right for people in Wisconsin. It's not right for people in Washington. And you can say that I'm biased for saying that, but think about it. The polls have Hillary Clinton ahead by 10 to 15 points. It's just not right. His tone is not right. And people are going to call me, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what I'm going to get on this video comments, but the polls are plus 15 for Clinton. It doesn't get better than that. And the fact that they've maintained for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I got to give Hillary Clinton credit for that. That she's held it that long. And I also have to give Donald Trump credit for how long that he's been able to keep these polls weighted down. His poll numbers are in free fall. They go down every day. I don't know what you think, and I'd love to hear what you think, but in my opinion, Hillary Clinton will win the presidency, and many also believe that. But I think that filling in these logical states, and I'm not going to fill in Connecticut right now, I'll be right back to that. But filling in just these logical states are pretty much, they're pretty much deliver the presidency for Hillary. So many of you are yelling at your screen right now. Okay. Some will argue Ohio for Trump, Michigan for Trump. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Hawaii, 4 electoral votes, puts her over the top. Or you could say, oh, well, he's going to win Nevada and Colorado and Georgia and Mississippi and Florida. Still doesn't matter. Or you could say that he could get Pennsylvania, but I highly doubt he can get Pennsylvania after the DNC. But you all can say that as much as you possibly can. And it still doesn't matter unless he gets the state of Pennsylvania. Why am I so far over here? What did I mark? Oh, I've been over. Yeah, I've been over. Okay. So, we have, right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states on the map. 6 states that I'm going to try my best to predict. And 6 states that you're probably not going to agree on with me on. Nevada, number 1. Probably one of the most intense battleground states in the Union. Has known for its very high Hispanic population, and it's grown since 2014, based on stuff that I've read, basically from Google and other sources, of course. The polls are in Trump's favor at the time, and I think there's a good chance that Trump could win the state of Nevada. Number 2, Colorado. Hillary Clinton and her medical marijuana issues, that she does not support recreational marijuana, is going to tell them something that she does not want. Take away their weed, probably taking away the state. I hate to get like down in the like details with drugs and stuff, but yeah, you take away their marijuana, you're basically taking away the state. But with the fact that Hillary Clinton is doing so well there, there's almost no other reason. I have no other logical answer on how I can explain why Trump could win that. Mississippi. The polls are increasingly coming to the margin of error. It's the margin of error right now in Mississippi. The black population is high in the central part of the state, and the suburbs, as predictable, will probably go for the Democrats. Hillary Clinton could pull off a healthy lead in some of those states, but at the end of the election day, the rural states will probably go pretty solid for Trump. Georgia, a very new, I mean just weeks new battleground state. It is. It's in play. It's in play, guys. It's in play. The polls have Hillary Clinton leading or tied with Donald Trump, and it's been increasingly becoming the margin of error since the end of July. That should tell you something. With the black population, the suburb population would probably go more red. But I think, and I know a lot of people are going to rip my head off for this, but I'm going to continue with my consistency and keep Georgia for the Democrats. Florida. With Marco Rubio running a successful campaign so far in Florida, and the DNC and the DNC, former DNC chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, being from there, and it's not popular there. That was not very professional of the Democratic National Committee to do that to Bernie Sanders. And I just don't have confidence that Florida can go blue. And I don't know why. I just have no logical answer on how to explain why I would go blue unless I said the Latino or Hispanic population from Cuba or such. But there's so many minority populations that are just appealed to Trump in that state, and he's winning in the polls, and I just can't see it going blue. Connecticut, 7 electoral votes, I believe, will go for the Democrats. It's increasingly become close, but I think the margin will widen out just a little bit. So here's our map: 339 to 199. That's so far what we have here, and we're not going to end off this video quite yet. So if you're still watching, hang around, keep watching, share the video, because we're not done quite yet. So, resetting the map now. I got a suggestion from YouTube named Mr. President that I should do a video split up into 4 ways. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something just a little bit unique. And today I'm going to do one part of it, or basically 2 parts of it, is I'm going to show you the max amount of electoral votes that both candidates can get. And I'm going to start with Hillary Clinton. So Clinton cannot get more electoral votes than Donald Trump. And I'm going to be honest to God with you on that. But at the most, she can win past 270, of course. She could win this, if she wanted to. These are states that she could win if she really tried very hard on them. States that could go blue, but won't, probably all won't go blue. You're seeing this fill in here. She could even win Alaska at the most. If you aren't fully aware of what I'm doing right now, I'm basically showing you the max amount of electoral votes that Hillary Clinton could get in an election. So at the end of it, Hillary Clinton could get max 410 electoral votes. So keep that in mind. 410 electoral votes is the max Clinton could get. Now, this is the max amount Trump could get. Yeah. One more electoral vote. Clinton's max was 410, and Donald Trump's max is 411. So one more electoral vote. But I can tell you, that's interesting. Interesting that to the point that both candidates could get a landslide, but that's interesting. So 410 to 411. I'm going to research more on that a little bit. I'm going to bring more in next videos. But yeah, that's interesting. 410 max I got for Clinton and 411 max for Trump. So Mr. President, if you have any more suggestions for me, comment them. Or if anybody else has any more comments for me or suggestions, comment them when this video is up. Don't put them in the chat, please. I mean, don't put them in the chat. So, how do I even get to the chat? Am I able to get to a chat? I think. Maybe. I don't know. So, we have a blank electoral map here. What we're going to do now is I'm going to do my personal opinion. And I'm not going to talk for a second because I'm going to be doing my personal opinion. So here we go. So this is my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion on how this election will play out. So far, we've done the demographics. We've done it. We haven't done it based on the polls yet. We'll get to that in a second. But we've done it in a series of different ways. How many max electoral votes Clinton can get, how many max electoral votes Trump can get, based on demographics, based on personal opinion. And now it's time for one more thing. And in my personal opinion, I got 316 to 222. So that's that. Now, whoa, not that. Now we're gonna do election based on polls, and there's a reason I want to do this because this is interesting. And we're gonna do every poll from 2016. A lot of you have bashed me from doing polls from early 2016, but if they're in 2016, they're reasonably valid based on the election. I mean, at the time, Trump was not the presumptive nominee yet, but it was pretty clear he was going to be the nominee. So, same with Clinton. Alaska, and this one we're going to do the pundit map, the consensus pundit map. And the reason I want to do a consensus pundit map is because I have a method I do with the consensus pundit map, and it's just basically based on likely, based on that. So starting with Alaska, this is less than 5 points. So Alaska, in my opinion, leans to the Republicans. Next state, Minnesota. Minnesota, 38-43. It's moderate for the Democrats, I believe. That will probably be the case. Mississippi, 46-43. And you see, that's not much. So Mississippi will probably lean Republican this election. Maryland, of course, you can see 61 to 28%. That's definitely going full blown for. And that was Maryland, right? Yeah, Maryland, 10 electoral votes, probably solid blue based on that. Indiana, 48-41. So the thing about this is that the fact that Mike Pence is there is not adding up that would go moderately, but the polls have it that would go moderately. Now, this is back when Trump was the presumptive nominee when this poll was made. So it's going to be interesting to see the new Indiana polls. Moving on to West Virginia, it looks solidly for Trump, 57-30. It's pretty logical that would go solid for Trump. Massachusetts, solidly for Clinton, 55-31 in the polls. That's 11 electoral votes. Next up, Louisiana, which would go moderately. I'm solid for Trump, 52-36. 52-36 in the polls. New Mexico, I'm going to say, is going to go moderately for Clinton, 33-41. And actually, Gary Johnson has a little bit of a lead there, too. But it's going to go moderately Democrat based on the polls. Connecticut, 38-45 will go moderately for the Democrats. That's a no-brainer, I mean. And next, Washington. You can see Clinton almost has a majority in Washington, but she's still back by 1 point from having a majority in Washington. With that being said, I believe that Washington, and the polls believe, will go solid blue. Utah, clearly, is actually moderately. It's actually 9 points. He's actually just leading by 9 points. So Utah actually goes moderately for the Republicans. Maine, 35-42, would actually be leaning towards the Democrats. And it doesn't have second congressional district. What they should do is they should put like a second chart here for second congressional district, but I don't know. 36-47 is solid for Trump. Texas, 41-33, is actually moderately for Trump in the polls. So it's not solid yet. And we'll see how that goes as polls continue to develop a little bit. 52-31 in New Jersey is solid for Clinton. Idaho, 44-23. And that is for Trump. Solid for Trump. Seriously. Wisconsin is 41-45. Now I have a friend who lives in Washington, Wisconsin. I mean, he's not exactly in the politics like me and my other friend, but he is aware. I mean, he's aware. And according to his opinion, there's no way in hell that state is going for Donald Trump. With that being said, 41-45 in the polls too is actually leaning for Secretary Clinton. Colorado. Now, this actually goes moderately for Hillary Clinton, 37-45. Moderately for Clinton. So it's likely for Clinton. Let's put it like that. Likely for Clinton. Not solid for Clinton, but likely for Clinton. Moving on to Iowa. She's winning by 1 point, so Iowa leans blue. And notice these polls where nobody has a majority. I mean, I'm gonna do better at this, and I want you to do better at this. As people who watch my videos and comment on my videos, if no state has a majority, don't tell me, and I won't tell you, that either candidate is going to win it. Now, Illinois, as you can see, 51. That has majority. 50 is majority. So 50-34 would be solid for Clinton. And since this is based on polls, there's a little exception. And if you're talking about based on polls in the comments, make sure you specify that. But, you know, unless you have clear evidence that it's majority, then don't tell me I'm biased for that reason. So moving on, 35-47 in New York, which would be adding up to solidly for Clinton. Ohio, Clinton wins by 1 point, 43-42. So that would lean Ohio towards her. Kansas, 46-32 is actually solid for Trump. And remember that poll that had Hillary Clinton in the lead? That was actually interesting for the time being, because I wasn't sure whether or not that was going to continue or if it was going to stop. So, with that being said, let's keep going. Oregon, or we already passed Oregon. Kansas, let's see, Ohio, we didn't do Oregon. Whoops, we passed right by it. 36-45, which is pretty moderately for Clinton, or likely for Clinton. Vermont is solid for Clinton, 18% to 45%, but notice the other 37%, which almost beats the Democrats' 45%. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Maybe they go for third party. I don't know. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to that. That's 37% other. So we'll watch that very closely, of course. But for the time being, based on the red, blue, Trump, Clinton poll numbers, it's solid for Clinton. Same with California, 2952. Of course, that's solid for Clinton. What's new? I mean, it could go down, but it's going to pop right back up before the election comes around. So, moving on to Missouri, 4639, which is actually moderately for Trump. Virginia, 3942. So she's winning by 2 to 3 points there. So with Virginia, Tim Kaine, I have faith to believe that that'll be solid, but polls have it leaning. So that's the case there. Oklahoma, 2953. Of course, Oklahoma's going solidly red. I do know Democrats though in Oklahoma. I mean, I wouldn't say solid Democrats, but people who don't support Donald Trump, of course. So Oklahoma will go red, but I do know people there with the exception of Democratic views. So moving on, Nevada, 41-43. Clinton, I guess, did retake the lead in Nevada. So 41-43, she's leading by 2 points in Nevada. So it'll be leaning, so it's still in play, but it's just leaning towards the Democrats. Here's that Arizona poll, 42-45. And 42, yeah, hold on. I'm trying to think what I was going to say about Arizona. Arizona, I don't know. But 3 is leaning Democrat, so I have to, based on the polls, in favor of the polls, don't shoot me, don't shoot, in favor of the polls, leave it for the Democrats. North Carolina, she's leading by 1 point. And once again, I said I thought Obama was going to carry the state for her, and I still do think he will, but she's in favor of the polls. Once again, she's leading by 1 point. 35-53 in Tennessee is solid for Trump. Pennsylvania, 41-47. Here's the thing about Pennsylvania. Since the DNC, that has happened. There's been very bigger leads, so it's interesting. So that's 6 points. So it's over 5 points. So it's actually likely for Clinton. I like to say right now, based on this map, the strategy for the Republicans has crashed. Based on the polls at the time being, before the first debate, remember, before the first debate, the Republican strategy has crashed into a mountain. Really. And it's blown up, it's totaled, and it's not coming back for the time being until the polls adjust themselves. 42-43. She's leading by 1 point in Florida. It doesn't matter. I still think it's going to go red, but in favor of the polls, I have to make it blue. 36-45 in New Hampshire. That's actually that's moderately. So New Hampshire's going likely. So likely blue in the polls. Okay. And Kentucky's actually surprisingly closer than I thought it was going to be. I was thinking Kentucky was going to be something like Tennessee or Oklahoma, where they have like majority already, but she's 1 point behind majority in Kentucky. But 49-36 is solid for Trump in the state of Kentucky with 8 electoral votes. Michigan, 41-35 is actually over 5, so it does count as likely for Clinton. Georgia, here's that tie poll, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go based off of the one poll that had her ahead by 4 that was released today that has her ahead by 4, and I'm going to go Georgia leans Democrat in favor of the polls. So notice how that national poll, which has her leading by like 9 points, actually matches up with the real electoral map. If it stays like this until the election is over, Hillary will beat Trump by a landslide victory. That is, if this electoral map based on polls stays loyal to Hillary Clinton until the election. But there's still many debates, there's still many negative attacking, and there's still more scandals, which quite frankly are probably going to come up a lot. So this is going to be an interesting election, and I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I think I think that Hillary Clinton will win, especially based on my polls, my personal opinion, the demographics. It all has Hillary Clinton winning. The electorate and the demographics and the polls just aren't in favor of Donald Trump this election. So I just wanted to explore this for a second. And last time I did an election video, I wanted to explore this, but it kept doing some stupid northern half of the state type thing. So I'm going to pick a state and I'm just going to show you basically all the features that this has. So you can do, well, let me just do national for a second. You have 4 different issues scenarios you can pick: presidential, Senate, House, and governor. So you saw the presidential. It gives you demographics, it gives you the names, and it gives you the counties if you zoom in. Like, it gives you the county name and the margin in that county. So that's basically that. Now let's look at Senate for a second. We're gonna go, yeah, there's Senate. Okay, so you can see here the what this looks like. Yeah, see, there's McCain right there. He won in Arizona for the Senate, and in Illinois, Kirk, and in Wisconsin, Johnson, and Rand Paul in Kentucky. Now looking at, well, in 2014, Durbin won the Senate in Illinois. In the House of Representatives, anyway, let's move on to the House of Representatives. It looks like based on congressional districts. So here's my home state, Illinois, split up into congressional district. This is District 17 Representative Sherry Bustos beat Bobby Schilling. Yeah, Bobby Schilling. I think I remember that. 2014, Bobby Schilling. I remember him running quite clearly. So yeah. Over here in the other districts, I'm not going to click on those because those are so freaking small. Just not going to click on it. Down here is like the other ones. You can see the Republican part of the state, definitely. And you can also see why for somebody who's new to election predictions, it would make no sense why Illinois goes Democrat. But people who are familiar to the to the congressional situation, you see why it goes to the Democrats most election. Okay, so moving on, let's go to governor. Now here's governor. So there's not governor everywhere all the time. You can see the governors here. There's Pence. Check out Pence. He only won by a couple of percentage points, actually. I'm not getting a fill here, but you can see there. Let's go back to 2006. When I think, yeah, Palin became the governor of Alaska. And, here we go. Here's a story for you. Rod Blagojevich was the governor of Illinois, and he took money from Illinois. Now, at the time, elected to Senate was our junior senator, I guess, junior senator Barack Obama. So, when Blagojevich was our governor, Obama was our senator. And in 2008, Blagojevich was still our governor, and, well, not yet. I mean, he wasn't our governor. He was finishing up his governor term. I mean, they had to cut his governor stuff short because he was stealing money from the state of Illinois. So that's basically why Durbin ran, and Durbin won. So wait, this is, yeah, the Senate, and Durbin was the senator. I've got myself so confused right now. Durbin was not the governor. Blagojevich was the governor in 2008. And some people here believe that's why Obama lingered his way into running for president, because he didn't want to get caught in that crap, because he knew what was going on and he wasn't getting caught in the middle of it. So, we have faith to believe that's why Obama ran for president. Actually, a lot of people say he's a terrible president and he was a terrible senator. Because he wasn't a terrible senator. He was an awesome senator. I can barely remember it because I'm not old enough to like remember all that stuff. But he was a really good senator. He really was. He was a perfect senator, actually. Well, not perfect, but he was a really good senator. He did create a lot of jobs in our state, and it was good. But okay, so we saw the counties, we saw everything here. So what we're going to do is we're going to end off this video. If you want to go check out CNN Magic Wall, it's www.cnnmagicwall.com. By the way, if you do election prediction videos, make sure you use it for your election predictions too, because you really will be called biased if you don't use it for demographics. So thanks for watching this election prediction video, and join us next time. Leave a like and share this video, and thanks for watching.